Today, I'm going to reveal to you a secret, one that can drastically improve your ability to talk to people. So, let's get right into it. First off, you need to understand something important. You weren't born socially awkward. Humans, by nature, are extremely social creatures. So much so that if you placed a baby in a room full of people, over time, that baby would learn to speak purely through observation. No one has to sit the baby down and say, "That's a dog, D-O-G, woof woof, repeat after me." You don't have to do any of that. Just by existing around people who talk, the baby's brain absorbs language automatically. And that's because our brains are wired to detect patterns and rules, especially when it comes to social interaction, which, if you think about it, is all language really is. Patterns, rules. So no, you weren't born bad at socializing. The actual reason your social skills may not be where you want them to be is because your brain simply hasn't had enough time or chances to pick up on the necessary social cues. In short, you're out of practice. And it's not really your fault either. Think about how we live today. Most of our communication happens through screens. We spend hours interacting through devices instead of face-to-face, and that trend is only getting stronger with each new generation. I didn't own a smartphone until I was almost 20, but kids nowadays, most of them get one before they even hit 10. And we all know it doesn't take much skill to send a friend request or drop a quick message. Typing, sending emojis, it's all second nature. But texting is nothing like real-life conversation. It lacks so many small yet crucial components, like tone, facial expressions, body language, pacing, proximity, eye contact, all the subtle social cues that matter in real-life interactions. These are things you only get to observe and practice when you talk to people face-to-face. When you're messaging through your magic little rectangle, none of that context exists. It's like you're learning a totally different language, one where you're fluent in typing, but struggling to even form full sentences in real-life interactions. That feeling of being awkward or nervous around new people, that comes from not giving your brain the practice it needs to internalize the unwritten rules of in-person conversation. It's no different than being thrown into a foreign country where you don't speak the language. You panic because your brain doesn't know how to react yet. But here's the key. Just like with any language, the way to get better at it is to practice. You need more real-world interactions. You need to give your brain those chances to observe, to process, and to adapt to the social grammar of real life. Now, you might be thinking, okay, that makes sense, but how exactly do I get that kind of practice? Well, when I was around 18, I decided to take on something called the 100 Interaction Challenge. The idea is simple. Within 1 month, you aim to have 100 separate interactions with people. The depth of those interactions doesn't really matter. Heck, you could walk up to someone, say hi, and walk away, and it would still count. Personally, most of my interactions came from pretending I was lost, asking strangers for directions after saying my phone died. They were quick, easy ways to get a conversation going. And even though these talks were short, they still gave my brain the practice it needed. Eventually, those brief chats started turning into longer, more meaningful conversations. By the time I finished the challenge, I noticed a serious improvement in my social confidence and skills. Let me leave you with a helpful analogy. Learning to talk to people is like learning to ride a bike. Sure, you can watch all the tutorial videos you want, learn how the pedals work, the mechanics, everything. But at the end of the day, the fastest way to really learn is to hop on and start pedaling. Yeah, you'll fall a bunch of times. You'll probably wobble around awkwardly at first. But eventually, you'll figure out how to balance. And once you do, it becomes second nature. The same thing happens with social skills. As you talk to more people, you'll have some awkward moments, maybe even some cringy ones. But you'll start recognizing what works, what doesn't, what makes people laugh, and what crosses the line. And over time, you'll develop a natural finesse. You'll learn how to balance socially. So just get out there. Start talking to more people. That's the real secret. Thanks for watching. If you found this valuable, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who might need it. More practical tips coming your way soon, so stay tuned and keep leveling up.